What does failure mean to you? It's a heavy question that can stir up many different feelings. Failure is often painted in a negative light, associated with disappointment and missed opportunities. It often invokes anxiety, making us hesitate, avoid risks, and creating a feeling of paralysis. But it's not just about that. While failure may seem daunting and scary, it's not all bad. It's taught me about who I am and how I can keep growing. It's urged me to reflect on important moments, and it's opened new paths to the future. Today, I want to delve deeper into my journey through failure, its impact on my motivation, and how it's helped me understand who I am. Hi, my name is Nael, and I'm a grade 12 student at Appleby. Like many of us here today, my life has been marked by moments of struggle, particularly when I was young. I grew up with a constant sense of pressure, trying to meet the expectations laid out by my parents and teachers. An encouraging mantra was slowly drilled into my head as I navigated my way through life. But as it continued to be repeated to me, it began to have the opposite effect. I consistently felt I was short of expectations, even after the tiniest mistake or setback, like I was slowly falling behind, itching closer and closer to the point of no return. I felt stretched thin by extracurriculars, disconnected from my peers, and apathetic towards school. As a kid, I knew there was pressure on me to succeed, but I was unaware of just how much impact it would have on me. I remember rushing to get my homework done as a kid so I could go ride my bike outside or play video games. I was an okay student in school and not amazing at any extracurriculars, but I was still quite happy. As I got older and I reached middle school, I started to face a harsh new reality. I was placed into an advanced class for my favorite subjects at the time. However, something that was once manageable transformed into an overwhelming challenge. I walked in with a smile on my face, unknowingly underestimating what was to come. I quickly became lost, struggling to solve problems on the board or work effectively with my peers. Whenever I asked a question because I didn't know what was happening, I felt a patronizing tone, along with 15 other people staring at me, looking annoyed. I was angry, sad, and frustrated. I felt hopeless. I felt left behind. I felt inadequate. But after a while, I felt a strange sense of apathy towards it all. After my efforts in the course turned up fruitless, and I realized how even my teacher treated me like a lost cause, something about my thought process changed. I was so sick of feeling awful about myself every single day because of that class. But what if I just ignored it? And that's exactly what I did. I'd show up every day, but I wouldn't do anything. No more raising my hand and getting laughed at for a wrong answer. No more disappointment when I study for a test and still get a bad grade. The best thing for me to do was just ride it out and focus on better things. And it somehow seemed to work. I got through 4 years of middle school relatively stress-free. I spent time keeping my other grades up, also spending time with friends and family and enjoying hobbies. But looking back, my avoidant mindset didn't just show me I wasn't cut out for that class. It showed me I wasn't cut out to deal with failure. Instead of continuing my efforts, I sidestepped it and took the easy way out, choosing blissful ignorance over the struggle of improvement. I can say I ignored the class, but I still had to face it and accept it. It was like looking at a small stain on a white shirt. I thought that as long as I showed some level of success in the other areas of my life, I could suppress the negative feelings it sparked. However, a part of me deep down knew that this wasn't sustainable, and my move to a new school made me fully realize that. New beginnings are often exciting, but they can also create feelings of anxiety and insecurity. In grade 10, I left my hometown of Dhahran, Saudi Arabia, and the school I'd known all my life to come here. My first term at Appleby was an incredibly special time. I made new friends, enjoyed my classes, lived in boarding, and joined the cross-country team. I felt rejuvenated and alive again, motivated to put my all into everything I did. I had hoped that my fresh start here would change everything. But it wasn't that easy. As my first term ended, I heard that once encouraging mantra again. However, this time, it sounded different. It wasn't kind or uplifting or encouraging at all. It sounded bitter, dismissive, and patronizing all at once. This led to a rage of emotions I hadn't anticipated. Here I was, ready for a fresh start, just to end up feeling the same feelings of inadequacy and hopelessness as I did all those years ago. I felt trapped, unable to carry forward and truly begin my new life, being held down by what I thought was the past. I became resentful, not just towards the people around me, perpetuating the feeling of pressure, but also towards myself. I was conflicted, wanting success, but also unwilling to compromise my happiness or go back to the way I felt just a few years ago. I was swallowed by self-doubt, even questioning my decision to leave my town. I thought about how I was letting down my friends and family, everyone who helped me get to this point. I felt like I was at a crossroads, like I had to lead two different lives, being myself and being the student that people wanted me to be. However, even in the face of adversity, I mustered the resolve to keep pushing. I decided to push myself academically and strive to become a better student. However, there was still a side of me that was adventurous, hungry for something new to try, and wanting to make the most of my time at the school. So, with zero experience in singing or dancing, I auditioned for and joined the school play. I had no idea what to expect from this, but it turned out to be one of the most fun, challenging, and uplifting experiences I've ever been a part of, and certainly has some of my favorite memories from my time at the school. It was a learning environment where I felt comfortable making mistakes. I didn't feel stressed or anxious because I knew there would be people there to help me. Although my creative efforts were encouraged and rewarded, my academic efforts had a different outcome. I was met with stagnation, and the disappointment stung deep this time. It made me think about whether my grades truly reflected the work I put in, and why I did all this just to end up back at the start. I had hoped for a sign of progress, but I was crushed yet again by that same mantra. I fell back into old habits, my motivation to end the year strong nearly dead at this point. I did what I needed to do to scrape by, nothing more, nothing less. But as I sat and thought to myself while lazing around my room one day, I began feeling empty. Even though I'd stopped caring about work and tried to enjoy life, it wasn't working. Deep inside, I still felt a lot of resentment, frustration, anger, and sadness. I felt I had hit rock bottom, unsure of what I could do to feel something good again. I sat for hours thinking hard about the root of the issue, thinking back to even when I was a child. But the answer to my question was found in something much more recent, the school play. Although I experienced failures and setbacks during my time there, they felt more opportunistic, as we used those failures to experiment, be creative, and try something new. I was somehow able to jump into something completely unexperienced and still learn and succeed, but academically, I felt I had hit the ceiling. I continued to look back on my experience with failure outside academics, and it was much more positive, feeling like a sign of progress rather than a sign of stagnation. I slowly began to appreciate failure for what it was, something to feel grateful for, something that plays a key part of my development as a person, and a reminder to keep working hard, but also to show compassion for myself. Standing here today, I'm proud to say I've mended my relationship with failure, recognize it as an important and inevitable part of my life. With failure, however, comes growth, and growth is an ongoing, ever-changing journey. I've stumbled and felt lost, but I've come back stronger and more resilient than ever. I've also found a sense of community through all this, understanding that failure is an obstacle that everyone will face in some way. However, remember that failure isn't the end. It's simply a rest stop along our journey of growth that gives us a chance to reflect and realign ourselves. It's a chance to redefine ourselves as we continue to cultivate an understanding of who we are and who we want to be. I want you all to reflect on your own experiences with failure and think about what it's taught you. Did it close a path in your life or open up a new one? Did it break you down or did you use it to build yourself up? As we all chase after what we each personally define as success, remember your journey is exclusively yours, containing everything you've learned and experienced, good and bad. Remember to appreciate the journey, as it helps shape who we are. Remember to embrace failure, as it is necessary to continue along the journey. Remember to reflect on your experiences. The good and bad moments create a narrative that's unique to you. Remember that just as failure can motivate, so can perseverance and determination. The journey may seem daunting at times, maybe even fruitless, but every step is valuable and special, and every setback is an opportunity to grow and a reminder to stay strong. At the end of the day, it's this journey that we're on that makes us human. Thank you. Now please stand and sing hymn number 135 from the Red Book.